So I'll kind of just like set the stage a little bit, and then we can just dive right in. I'll kind of let Mike lead the session. It's kind of your time, but just to give you guys a little bit of context, as you know, we've been doing these sessions over the past couple of months, where we get leaders from sales, marketing, and talent to jump into these video sessions and help candidates stand out in their job search. And a lot of times we can actually execute and get things done right here on the spot. So I'll let Mike take the lead. Mike is a really very active, very well-known leader in the talent space. He does a lot for the community, and we're really lucky to have him. I'm sure he has a lot of tricks up his sleeve and a lot of different things that he's done for himself, that he's done for others. I heard some stories about things that he had done to help some family members that Stephen
I was
let me in
wondering.
on.
I was like, oh, my sister's story. God bless her.
So I sent him your guys' LinkedIn in advance. The point is to give you guys as much one-on-one attention as possible, so everyone will get like up to 20 minutes. I'll let Mike kind of lead it, and maybe we can start like diving in with Nolan and then kind of go from there. Sound good?
Sweet. I'm a ladies first type of guy. Sorry, Nolan.
Cool. That works too. He was the first one that came on the top left of my screen.
I know. I'm sorry. Michelle, you went to UC Davis, baller, master's from Hofstra. You're in New York City. Whereabouts?
Upper West Side.
Dope. I'm from New York, so big fan. Lived in Midtown East. Okay, so talk to me a little bit about your background. I'm going to take notes while we do this, so please don't be offended at the clacking in the background. I want to make sure that I can organize this well enough to kind of share with you. And then run some effective searches.
Sure. Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. It's like you're looking at my LinkedIn right now. Yeah. I've been living in the city since 2011. Came here after grad school. While I was in grad school, I realized I wanted to work in sports. So that's kind of the avenue I've taken in my career. Been, Bleacher Report, SiriusXM, a bunch of different startups. And variety of reasons. Looking for a job right now with COVID, and then even going back to last year, I was working for a startup and they folded. So I've been unfortunately job searching for longer than the average person, and just looking for my next position.
So what's longer than the average person?
I've been looking since last summer. I got a job during quarantine, and then a few weeks later they laid me off, and so here I am, right back.
You've gotten a job. So just so everybody's clear, if they're listening, you've certainly gotten a job in that amount of time. It just, global pandemic and killer bees and coke bores and all that.
I did the majority of the work before the pandemic started, but yeah, I mean, sure.
Yeah, that's whatever.
Fine. Yeah.
I totally get it. So account production director, manager of creative production. Can you talk to me a little bit about kind of what you want to do?
Sure. Yeah. I would prefer to stay in sports. As I mentioned, I've worked in sports my whole career. I'd like to continue to do that. Not necessarily on the production side of stuff. I did that in past jobs, more so on the strategy and content and more on the marketing side of stuff. That's kind of what I'm looking to do more of. Again, I've been job searching pretty much nonstop for the last year plus, on and off, and just looking for my next opportunity.
I dig it, and I can totally work with that. Are you New York only? Are you open to relo?
I prefer to stay in New York, but I'm open to relocating.
Of course you would. You know where it's at. Would not. There's anything wrong with Canada. It's New York.
Canada, I'd be fine. I have a valid passport, so that's fine.
That's where Nolan's from. I figured out.
Okay.
I don't want to disclude him from like the awesomeness. Okay, very cool, Michelle. So walk me through your process right now, just real quick, kind of what you're doing application-wise, tracking, et cetera, and then we can kind of build on that.
Yeah, sure. I have a massive Google Doc that I keep track of everything as far as jobs, conversations I have, interviews, everything. LinkedIn has probably been the most effective thing I've used, just perusing everything on there. Using the feed on there has been helpful, just seeing what people who I know, things that they're posting, connection after connection, using that strategy, and then directly hitting up people that I know from past jobs, or if I see something interesting, I'll contact that person directly. Again, it's slowed down obviously with COVID, but
Sure.
still, staying at it and trying to be as active as possible.
Yeah, I think being on the content side, you could come very uniquely depending. The sports thing's going to be tougher. The contents and strategy side won't be because media right now is crushing the game. So that's great. Do you track the job URL when you reach out, who you reach out to?
Yep, I have everything on there. It's a pretty
Hell
a
yes.
nice Google Doc I've made over the years and just added to it as time goes on. Yep, I keep it. It's pretty detailed.
You're my type of people. Are you doing your search based on open jobs you see or about companies you want to work at?
A combination. There's various companies I'd love to work for, so I those are the ones I go to. But yeah, also if there's a job posting on there, sports or not, I'll look at it and so both
Great.
things on the.
Can you give me I don't know, like 3 companies you're interested in?
Honestly, these days I'm not super focused on a company per se. I'm more looking at just a job fit, and I'm becoming more and more broad with my search as time goes on. Yeah, as I mentioned, I'd love to stay in sports, but with everything going on right now, I gotta just continue to broaden my search.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, I could think of something in the next couple minutes if you want,
Yeah.
but right now I'm just looking for a job. So.
Yeah, if you do, great. If not, we're going to go a couple of routes here. So the first route and the most common route is the straight up jobs route. So my understanding is you want to be doing content development, director of content development, director of, you said biz dev, but it sounds like you're more on the digital side. So I'd put together just a quick string and I can share this with you. Or we'll do like content development or content creator, or I don't know, let's do digital and producer. So what we want to try to cover when we're doing a search like this is any combination of titles that somebody could have, right? Because you know this better than most. People have some weird ass titles in this space, right? Or in any space for that matter. Digital and producer, let's do it in New York. And so we want to try to open it up, and we're going to further open this up once we start looking at some interesting roles. If we want to, let's get froggy with it. Since you love sports, let's start with just adding the word sports. See what comes up. Okay, let's see here. CBS, push and platforms, producer. So first, when you see promoted jobs, I tend to walk away from these.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're super saturated. Cool.
Like I've applied to majority of these that you're looking at right now, but sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So first rule of thumb moving forward, don't apply to jobs anymore.
Yeah. I'm focusing more on just people who I know and just perusing my feed more so than just applying to a job. Cause there's more often than not, there's like 200 plus applicants and the odds are not in my favor. So yeah, I'm right there with you.
Okay, perfect. Sports, content, producer. Great. Okay. If you don't have this tool, it may help you. It's called multi-highlight. It does exactly what it says it does. So producer-client relationships. It's got a little bit of sports here, but it doesn't look like that's really like the main focus. So we can try and... Any interest in Barstool?
No, nope, not a company I want to work at.
Yeah, I didn't think that. I just figured some other stuff's fine. Okay. Video producer, creative director. Again, I don't see sports on here.
Let me be clear. I'm not limiting myself just to sports. I prefer.
Yeah. If I can do it, like let's hit a home run on try number 1 here. I'm only going to go through the ones I've opened. Besides that, you'll get the concept of kind of what I'm doing, and then we'll see how many of these we can get you to right now. Okay. Son of a biscuit. That was a fail and a half. All right, cool. So let's start at the beginning. This is head of branded content. It's definitely a senior level role. I know you put director or something you're looking for in here. Are you familiar with Pineapple Street Studios?
Yep.
Cool. Have you applied to this?
I don't have my doc open. I'm pretty sure I did.
Okay, cool. So we're less than 25 applicants. So for me, I'm like, all right, cool. That's money. So here's the first thing I think about is, okay, who is this reporting to, right? Sometimes it'll tell you directly in here, which is super nice. This one does not. Since it's a head of and a director title, you're either reporting to a VP or a C-level executive.
Yep, exactly.
Cool. So this is what I want to do. The company is Entercom. So I'm going to run a search on this. In title, let's do Entercom, or what is it? Pineapple Media is the sub. And I'll show you what I'm doing in a second. In title, Pineapple Media.
We're searching for the person who this would report to, right?
I sure am.
Yeah, I know that trick.
Good. Okay, so you're already ahead of the game here. There it is, Chief Digital Officer.
Yep.
So he's going to be probably one of the people we want to reach out to. And then I always am going to do at least two people. So the first one is going to be the executives who you'd be reporting to, or the manager. The other is going to be the recruiter, or I don't know, maybe they have talent acquisition. And so here's the search, just FYI, if you don't Boolean through stuff. Site : searches for a site. LinkedIn.com/in will find you people profiles on LinkedIn instead of jobs and companies.
Mm-hmm.
In title literally means this blue thing you click. This is called the title of the page.
Yep.
So I'm looking for somebody who in the title has either Entercom or Pineapple Media. Right. And then I'm just simply adding the titles afterwards. I can send you these. There's no need to recreate the wheel. Reach out. I can obviously help you with that piece. But let's go through some of this and go Robert Phillips, Chief Revenue Officer, hard pass. Chief Operating Officer, yes. Not bad. Cox and then Entercom, that's great. She's in New York. JD is the Chief Digital Officer. This is definitely somebody we want to be in touch with. And you're just a VP. I have no idea what that means. You're a senior VP. I also don't know. This is of Entercom Digital, so maybe we keep them also. VP of Digital Operations, great. So we're good on that side. Now let's find the benefits. No, HR, no.
Did the job posting have a recruiter on the?
I thought that it should, but they sure didn't, which is super frustrating.
Sometimes they put them on there.
I know, which makes total sense. This one does not make total sense. So talent acquisition leader at Entercom. There we go. Recruiter, talent acquisition specialist, recruiter, talent acquisition manager. Let's hit you up also. Talent acquisition manager at, okay, great. Here's our 4 people. So first thing I'm doing, I'm jotting down their information. So name, title, and LinkedIn URL in my spreadsheet, which I'm totally sure that you're doing already, which is great. Do they have contact info? She does not. Does he have contact info? He, not really, but that's probably his email. And do they have contact info? That's probably the email. There's one. Okay. So you're going to think, oh, that's a personal email. And I'm going to go, yeah, hell yeah, it's a personal email. Who cares? We want to reach out, and we want to reach out in a way that gets people's attention and lets them know, like, hey, I'm like dead serious about getting this job. Next thing you're going to want to do is get a couple of Chrome extensions. Number 1, Loxo, L-O-X-O. Next one, Swordfish. Next one, The Reach. They are free. You don't have to pay for them. Swordfish it's like freemium, so you'll get some. Loxo is totally free. And what it'll do is it'll scan down. I have to refresh the page like an intelligent human. And the goal here is we want to find their personal and their professional email address, right? That's going to be the main goal of doing this. And then we're going to craft a very, very crafty email that's going to be sent to all of these people, which is super scary for a lot of folks, not for us. And it's going to differentiate you. There it is. Oh, and it's just as simple as we think it's going to be. Okay, great. So that's one. Nailed her. We'll go to the next one. Contact info is not there, so let's look it up really quick in Loxo. This part's the legwork, not the fun work. Although I guess probably at the point where you've applied a bunch, none of this is super fun. But you'll see what we do with the email. It's going to be the biggest differentiator. We're going to take a wild guess here and go, I don't know, jeffrey.miller@entercom.com. Something worth checking when you're doing this and building them, check out the size of the company.
Yeah, exactly. If it's a big company, they may not, they might be more than one Jeffrey Miller out there.
There might. I'm going to bet not. and he's a senior VP, and he's been there for 5 years. So I'm going to bet he's probably the Jeffrey Miller. But, you know, we'll find out when we send an email, and that bounces right back to us. JD, we're going to do the same thing. So we're collecting these folks' emails, and we're doing this because, like, I'm getting you in front of these humans. We're going to do it.
This is exactly the
right
approach I take. So, yeah, I'm glad that
you are on point. I think one of the things that's going to be maybe a little bit different is what we're doing in the email itself. And I know if you've seen me talk, you know that my emails are going to be a little bit different than what people are used to. I assume it's going to be JD. Well, it seems pretty reasonable at entercom.com. An interesting thing that we can also do, if you haven't used this, is truepeoplesearch.com. JD Crowley, he's in New York. Could not find anyone. I'm not going to spend forever doing it, so we're going to assume on that one. And then Susan, we're going to do the same thing. So once we get all of these collected, we're going to do 2 seconds of research on the company. You should do 5 minutes of research on the company. I don't want to spend 5 minutes of your time right now doing it. And I think I can glean enough to put together a proper email for you.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
I'm going to assume, Ms. Larkin, that no one else has your name there. So next thing we want to do, we're going to go right to Google, Pineapple Street Media, and let's go to the news. That was, okay, so it got acquired in 2019. Let's make a note of that. Radio Giant Entercom buys podcasters. So it's Apple's best ranked podcast. Yeah, let's get some of that. We're looking for just interesting stuff we could reference in an email is really what it comes out to. So I save the URLs for the article and I add a quick note. Pineapple Street purchased by Entercom for $18 million for a podcast. That is so dope. And go to the next one. Hot Pod, a new podcast power is formed on Pineapple Street. So this is like the forming. So I love this. We're gonna
highlight that.
We're gonna highlight that for sure. We like that little quote ski. Save this article. Okay, yeah, we'll probably leave it there for now and then go to iHeart. Oh, it is. Oh, so the clearing is by them. So best crime podcast of 2020. Dope. We're going to save that and make a note that it is the best crime podcast of 2020. Okay, great. I think that that's probably enough. Again, you may want to search a little bit more when you're doing this yourself. So here's what we're going to do is we're going to open up a Word doc and we're physically going to write our what would be normally our cover letter. So I'm a big hey person and I want to do hey, Jennifer, Jeffrey, JD, and Susan. Yeah, all on the same email. So why would you be interested in Pineapple Street specifically?
Big company. Feel like, the things that you're pulling out from these articles, I could definitely, I have that experience. I could, obviously help them with that. Let me go to the actual job thing itself. These are all things I have experience with in, it looked like it would be potentially a decent fit. So
cool. Why do you want to work at Pineapple Street Media?
I'd have to just dig around a little bit more and find out exactly why them. But everything that we were pulling together looks like, I worked at SiriusXM. A lot of the same podcast stuff I did there. I would just have to do a little bit more digging around and see exactly why.
Cool. I think this is the founder. Sure is. Let's get your email address, Linsky. So we're going to include him on this because we're going to mention one of his quotes. And it'd be better if you were on it for the specific quote where we're going to use the word shit in an email, which is going to be super interesting. It'll be fun. Talk about easy peasy to find. Yeah. Linsky.
What's your reasoning for putting everyone on one email?
It forces people to take action. We're going to check the URL for it. We can do that as contact us. So it's pineapple.fm is what it's going to be. So we will assume that you are max.linsky at pineapple.fm. So you, in this case, we're going to assume that you like it because they're edgy right? They used the word shit in their first ever interview about their podcast, which is pretty dope. Founders from BuzzFeed, which is great. Best crime podcast of 2020. You're not a criminal, but you certainly like crime podcasts. And they were just purchased last year for 18 million. So they're clearly doing things right, since it's only been like 4 years since they were founded, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So here it is. JD, Susan, and of course, Max. I saw you posting for, I don't know, what the hell's it called again? I should probably know this since we're applying to it. Head of branded content. Okay. Boop, boop. Apply, posting for a head of branded content. And while the job looks great, the organization, the company looks even better. I loved reading about the formation of Pineapple Street Media, how Max came outright and said, our operating philosophy is everybody's still trying to figure out this shit. Quote, while the words might be different, are completely in line with my life philosophy about constantly learning, growing, changing, and adapting as needed. Boom. I also saw you guys were voted the #1 crime podcast of 2020 by iHeartMedia. Do you use words like awesome?
In an email professional setting.
No, get rid of that shit. Eliminate that from your entire vocabulary and thought process. We don't, there's no such thing as a professional email anymore. I promise. Okay. Yeah, I will share a story with you about it. Do you use the word awesome? Like when you're talking to your friends, you're like, oh, that's awesome. Or like cool. Yeah. You do? Okay, great. I also read you guys got purchased by Entercom last summer for 18 million. Has to be some kind of record for a podcast. Must be a really exciting time to be working there. Cool. And then talk to me about why you're a fit for this.
I have the experience. I've worked on pretty much all this stuff. Worked with producers, overseeing them, project managed.
Where?
Which company?
Yeah, be super specific.
Okay. SiriusXM, Bleacher Report.
SiriusXM
that no longer exists.
At SiriusXM and Bleacher Report, I was working directly with
producers, projects, pretty much everything that's listed on the.
Working with producers, had direct interactions with clients, and I hope this is true. I'm just like going off. I'm like, yeah, sure. We'll show you that I'm definitely creative. I'd love the chance to connect. Ari, the head. Regarding this role, also, just in general, yours is a company I'm following regardless.
Kind of pump them up a little bit and just give them some.
Oh yeah. You also don't want it to be all like pressured as you know, like, oh, I really want this, blah, 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 whatever it is. Yeah. Thanks so much, and I look forward to connecting soon. Great. Now, sorry for reaching out to all of you on your work and personal emails. I'm just really excited about your, what is it, head of branded content role. Didn't know who to reach out to and wanted to make sure I got in front of the right person. Boom. I did research on the role, of course, but really got into researching Pineapple Street Media. Cool. So that's how I'd adjust this. I'm going to share this with you and send it to you so you can use it yourself. What the one thing that we want to add to this, and this is going to seem super unnatural, but I'm going to tell you both a personal story, which is 100% true, right? Hytham, I think you can speak to the fact that like I'm not bullshitting this. I can show you her profile. So my sister, younger sister, way smarter than I am, low bar, but she's very smart. She went to school at URI, double degree accounting and finance, master's, MBA, master's in finance, worked at New York Life for 10 years as a financial analyst. So she finally came to me and said, hey, I'm interested in leaving. Would you help me? And I'm like, holy shit, it's literally the only time in your life that I can help you. Yeah, absolutely. Let's do that. So what we did, I was like, hey, I want you to find a job you're interested in or a company. Send me the URL. I'm going to find the hiring manager and their email address. And I want you to write up the intro email. It'd be like a cover letter of sorts. And I want you to write up an intro, and then we'll send that directly to the hiring manager and recruiter. And so she sends over the first email, which went exactly the way you think it would. Hey, hiring manager, I saw your job posting on LinkedIn and believe I would be a great fit for the role. Based on the fact you're looking for, FP&A analysis and blah, 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 my experience at New York Life and my education lines up perfectly for what you're looking for, and I think it'd be a great fit to be able to contribute to the team, blah, 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 blah. Bullshit. So I wrote back to her and I'm like, hey, you know that if you took out Bed Bath & Beyond from this, that like it could literally be any company.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, second, you want to apply for a strategic manager of finance in supply chain at a retail company. I'm like, you've been in an insurance company as a financial analyst, right? She's like, I think I'd be great at it. I'm like, all right, well, I love you and I want to support you, so let's go do it. So I was like, cool. I asked her, hey, why do you want to work at Bed Bath & Beyond? And she's like, well, I think my skill set would line up really well with what they're looking for and my experience. And I'm like, whoa, cut the bullshit. Like, I'm your brother. Cut that out. Why do you want to work there? And she's like, I shop there all the time. I have 3 kids. So like their products are fantastic and they're affordable for me. And I actually like some like the strategy stuff they're doing to help compete with Amazon. Right. And I'm like, yeah, write that. She's like, I am not telling some new person that I don't know I want a job with that I have 3 kids in my outreach email. And I'm like, do you not have 3 kids anymore? I was like, one of them is my godson. Like, I hope you've got 3. She's like, that is not professional. I'm like, right. You're correct. It's not. It's you as a human. I was like, I need you to just trust me on this and reach out with that email. So she wrote it up. She was like gut-wrenchingly sick about sending it out. But I'll have you know, Lauren, who's my sister, has been at Bed Bath & Beyond as a manager of strategic finance for almost 3 years now. Yep. So the point that I'm bringing this up is if you're thinking about professional speak, get that shit right out of your head. It's not important. What you want to do is when you're writing your email, read it out loud. And I mean that, not like in your head out loud, actually out loud. So for me, because I wrote this, it's in my voice. Hey, Jennifer, Jeffrey, JD, Susan, and of course, Max. Sorry for reaching out to all of you on your work and personal emails. I'm just really excited about your head of branded content role. Didn't know who to reach out to. Wanted to make sure I got in front of the right person. I did research on the role, of course, but really got into researching Pineapple Street Media. I loved reading about the formation of, we'll eliminate that because it doesn't sound good. The formation of the company and how Max came out right and said, our operating philosophy is everybody's still trying to figure out this shit. The quote, while the words might be different, is, not are, yeah, I read it out loud, is completely in line with my life philosophy about constantly learning, growing, changing, and adapting as needed. I also saw you guys were voted the #1 crime podcast of 2020 by iHeartMedia. That's awesome. I also read you guys got purchased by Entercom last summer for $18 million. That has to be some kind of record for a podcast. It must be a really exciting time to be working there. At SiriusXM and Bleacher Report, I was working directly with producers, had direct interactions with clients, and hopefully this email will show you that I am definitely creative. I'd love the chance to connect regarding this role, but also just in general, yours is a company I'm following regardless. So great. Let's change direct. Cool. So as you can tell, when I read it out loud, it sounded like me. And when it didn't sound like me, I changed that shit, right? It has to sound like your voice coming out. This part here and this part here, or one or the other, you'd want to substitute ideally with why you, Michelle, want to work at this exact company personally. Nothing to do with the role, nothing to do with your experience or your background. You as a human, why do you want to work there? And because I really need a job's not a good reason, right? Find a reason why you want to work there. Yeah. You could technically use this, right, as your personal reason, but I would try to find a reason to connect that's beyond just I did a bunch of great research and, you know, it speaks to me. But like, hey, at my core, this is why. And then what you're going to do is you're going to get an email together and you are literally going to reach out to all of these people on one email.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
And it's going to feel super uncomfortable. And that's okay. That's what we're designed to do. And what I want you to do in this is you're going to put in the to box work emails. Mm-hmm. And then in the CC, you're going to put their personal emails.
Got it.
Yep. And then you're going to put in your calendar to follow up in 2 days.
Why 2 days?
I don't know. It's not 1 day, and 3 days seems too long. I normally, when I'm doing this, I reach out the following day. My logic is either my email sucked, in which case they probably didn't read it, or they just breezed past it. They read it and were going to reply and didn't, or they read it and got distracted and just completely forgot, in which case I'm just going to remind them. When you do this, you're going to open the email you sent and reply to that. So you want it, reply to that. You want it to show RE : blah, 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 and that you literally are sending a second email. They can read the thread that you followed up.
Cool.
Does that make sense?
What's a good subject for this?
What do you think?
What I normally do is I've been switching them up, just seeing what gets the best results, either like opportunity at such and such company or role at such and such company, or sometimes I'll get like whimsical and I'll just say, hey, I saw your post or something like that. Mm-hmm. I switch it up, but I'm just curious what.
Sure. So yeah, I'm going to give you there's a clear answer to this one actually, which is great. This one is always true. So I'm going to ask you this, and I think in asking it'll help to align in the future kind of your thought process around it. What is the purpose of a subject line?
So they can read the email?
Just to open the email.
Yeah.
What's the purpose of writing an email?
They respond back to you?
Yep. To get a response, right? If I knew that sending somebody a cat video would get them to respond to me, they're getting a cat video every time. So here's an interesting thing. The subject line that has the highest open rate, dead serious, is their company name.
Huh. Interesting.
Yep. Not like don't write the words their company name.
Yeah. Swap it out with the actual company.
Yeah, I'm going to do this just to make sure it doesn't. Yep. And so I want you to see this because most people don't understand or believe that, and I can get it. It doesn't seem very logical. All of this comes from actual study. So New York Times, we reach out, and what you'll see is, check this out. Company is their company name. Mm-hmm. This is the title, Software Engineer at New York Times. 85% open, 80% open.
Damn, that's big.
It's, by the way, this is universal. FinTech shop, 59 million in funding. DevOps engineer, 50%. Company, 69%. I can do this, by the way, all day. Compensation analyst at a health tech company, 76% versus it's
Wow.
Universal, I've had twice in the last 3 years that it didn't beat it out, and it was because the role was just like freaking silly cool. So that's what you want to put there. Their company name, Cleaned Up, right? You don't want to put like Pineapple Street Media LLC, right? Like clean it up, right?
Yeah.
Maybe Pineapple Street or Pineapple Street Media.
Yeah. Cool.
And that's going to be your process, and you're going to follow back up with that same exact email.
Cool.
Just so you know, the period in emails don't matter. It gets formatted in or out either way.
You said send the follow-up as the same email?
Yep. So
Okay. Like repaste it?
No. So I send you the email, and then it's 1 or 2 days later, and I literally either search for it or go into my sent. I'd search for it, open the email, and click reply.
And that's it? Nothing in the
Send
body
it.
email?
Oh no! You want to reply and say like, "Hey, names, just following up from my email, whatever it is, right? X days ago, RE, Pineapple Media, and the content role, head of content, if you want to be politically correct, head of content role. I would love the opportunity to connect. Let me know if you have any availability, this week or next. Thanks. And then the second one, I normally follow up and go, thanks. If I don't hear back, I'll try following up again on day. Because if you do that to me, I'm either going to be like, please stop fucking emailing me. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. Or I'm going to be like, hey, thank you so much. I love your persistence. Right? It's not annoying. It's persistent because you're funny. And that's going to be the deal.
And human.
And human. The last one that I send out, and this will either make you cringe or laugh, is, hey again, names. And then I do this.
Add a GIF? Okay.
Yeah.
Love it.
Okay, cool.
Well, Mike stands out.
That's me. Just
That's a whole nother
for your
conversation.
response. Haha. Seriously, would love to connect, even if you're not hiring. I look forward to hearing back. Right. Send. So something like that, where like the third email is usually that email where people use the term persistent or annoying, depending on your email.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're going to be funny, it's the third or the fourth email. When I'm reaching out to candidates, my first 3 emails are written coordinating with DISC personality assessments. So the first one's written for people who are high dominant type, right? Really strong power words. Second one's written for people who are like the steadiness, the we culture. The third one's written super short and sweet for the C's, like 2 sentences, literally the entire email. The fourth one is where people would start to be like, dude, enough. And so I send a ridiculous GIF or a meme every time. And if you need to, where I would go for this, and I'm dead serious, it sounds ridiculous, but here's the deal. Everybody loves this. Go to this site, upload your own image here, right? It's free. Upload your image, make the meme, generate the meme, and then you're going to want to save it. And then you're going to want to crop it, to crop the IMG flip off the bottom, right?
That could be
if you don't know how to do that, if you don't know how to do it, you can reach out.
That could be like Max. Like Max, what were you thinking when you said that?
Yeah, that's right. Sorry you didn't hire me. Why? Don't use this, right? You got to be super careful with everything going on right now. Nothing of any potential race issue, political issue, or issue that could be like someone getting hurt because of COVID.
And you just drop that in the email with any contacts, or just?
Oh yeah, I normally will put literally what I'd like put in here of just like, hey, that's me, just waiting for your response, right? Like just something funny. So here's an interesting thing to keep in mind. The number one motivating factor to create behavior, like action, is emotion, right? Guess what the number one most motivating emotion is?
Humor.
Humor.
No, it's actually fear. But number two
Yeah, I was
is
gonna say.
humor. And you wanna try to use that, because here's the deal. Nobody gets angry at genuinely experiencing humor. You're never gonna make anybody truly laugh and then have them get angry at it. So like, make people laugh.
Right.
Cool.
Sounds great.
I'm gonna forward
Glad you
all of.
asked me the-
Love it. I have a question for you.
I have answers.
So you go through all this work.
Yeah.
When they respond, they're either it's going to go one of a few ways. But what if it goes in the way of, thanks, here's our application process, blah blah blah.
Oh, I follow up and literally pretend like it's not a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I'd love the chance to chat. Let me know if Thursday afternoon or Friday morning works. Would love to connect with you.
Love that. Acknowledge
Yeah.
and defer. Just kind of go with it.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, the bottom line is like, yeah, of course you need to apply for the job, right? Like, duh. It's a part of the process. Has nothing to do with why I'm reaching out to you right now.
Mm-hmm. No, I love that. It's like, yeah, we'll connect you with so and so. I forwarded it on. Yeah, great. How does Thursday look, right?
If it's hey, we're gonna connect you with so and so. They're in charge of this.
Right.
My response is, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Should I reach out to them directly? And then I make a joke, right? Like, sure, I could find their email. Or would you mind making a referral? Right? Because if the VP or Max, even crazier, reaches out to the talent acquisition manager and goes, hey, this lady reached out about this job, you're getting a phone call. No matter what, even if you look terrible for the job, the founder reached out about someone interested in the job, right? Like 100% of the time you're getting a call.
Yeah, they'll take it seriously. Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. Sure will.
Cool.
All right.
Well,
Any
that's-
questions
that's
about
not
this?
Not the humor aspect of it yet, but yeah, maybe it's worth a shot.
It's
It seems like it works, so I'll give it a shot.
I
Sure.
promise you that it works.
Cool.
So
Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's great. It's really helpful.
this is one I literally sent out for a webinar I just did today. Right. This is like a webinar. I had several hundred people and everybody got this exact thing. Right. And people are like, oh my God, that's so funny. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, cool. I'll see you at the webinar. Right. We had another one for this is a professional services company that competes with Ernst & Young. Right. So like super, whatever. Fourth email. Here it is. There's not a lot of travel involved, right? So like normal company, and it writes their last name, first name, Stamba, this is the client, and it puts their first name in the thing, right? Joking aside, I'm following up for my email, blah, 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 and then I always finish with, or at least let me know if you got a chuckle out of the meme, right? So like stuff like that really works to get people's attention.
Cool.
All right. Hopefully that was moderately helpful.
I haven't gotten your email, but I'm sure it'll show up. If I don't get it, I'll reach out to you. And
please do.
that's great. Thank you so much. Really
You're
helpful.
welcome. You're very welcome. All right. So talk to me. You kind of heard what I just went over, so you know what I'm about to ask you. So hit me with it.
Yeah. So typically, I've been doing SaaS sales for the last 5 years or so. Everything from business development to account management to account executive work, helping out with additional training for either the business development reps or fellow account executives, everything from pitch control to how to negotiate, basically just any kind of tips and tricks I picked up along the way. I've been kind of helping out. I worked for a cybersecurity firm for about 4.5 years, and then I switched over to an e-commerce company for about a year. Fast forward till, I guess, April. And yeah, a bunch of us got laid off because of COVID, which kind of sucks.
It does suck.
Yeah, but ever since then, I've been doing some just freelance consulting work. Right now I'm doing some consulting work with a small company that is a Shopify app. And they just asked me for a little bit of help on business development work, different kind of sales strategies, what kind of goals they should be setting for their business development team. And yeah, that's what's been keeping me busy over the last 3 months or so.
Oh, I dig it. Where in Canada are you? Ontario, I assume?
Yeah, Kitchener.
Yep, right here. What do you want to do?
I'd love to be able to continue to kind of grow myself into a senior account executive or account management role. My ultimate end goal, though, is to get into more of a leadership position. The part that I really enjoyed throughout all of this has been helping and teaching other people about what I already know and what I've seen work for me, and kind of see that transfer over to them. So ultimate end goal would be management. Current goal is full-time employment again.
How big were your teams roughly?
Under 10.
Okay. How many people would you say about realistically that you were able to help?
5.
Any type of companies really appeal to you? I assume you want to stay in SaaS sales. It's a pretty hot space to be.
Yeah, preferably. Shopify would be one.
What, Shopify?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Their office is just down the street from my house.
So what we would do is search and do the same thing. Have you applied to Shopify?
No, because they don't currently have any roles open that are sales specific, I don't believe. And if they do, then obviously I didn't do my research very well.
No, don't get on yourself that way, man. That's not fair. This is what I do for a living, right? It's a little bit different. Do you want to work at a startup specifically?
Ideally I would. It's kind of where I thrive the most.
Angel List?
Yep.
Let's look at, have you looked at the Shopify competitors?
Yeah, so we used to actually work with BigCommerce at my last job as well.
Okay. Any interest or?
Yeah, I was going to say they're a great company as well.
Do you know WooCommerce?
Familiar with them. Not so much Magento. They're just a little bit more technically savvy than what I prefer to work in.
Sure. I get you. Okay. So start at BigCommerce. Have you applied to these guys already?
I don't believe so, no.
Cool. Sales. 2 jobs. Love it. Crushed it. I know it says Austin. Who the hell cares where you'd be located? We can do better than that. Senior sales development rep with 1 year of.
Yeah, it just means that it's a, yeah.
That means it was a lazy recruiter who updated that, and it's frustrating, I bet. Weebly. Sales. Oh, yeah. All right, account manager, Canadian markets. That one's pretty straightforward. So which one of these do you want to focus on for right now?
Not that one.
Good call. So let's see. You will 3+ years. That's great. Experience with sales. You have any Salesforce experience?
Yep.
Great. I'd be really scared if you're like, oh, you speak any French?
Not really. My wife does. I don't.
Oh, cool. Okay. And we're going to open up a new sheet just for you up here. Okay. So what are you currently doing for applying to stuff, and are you keeping track of it?
I am, right now I'm just applying on ZipRecruiter, Indeed, LinkedIn, Angel, and typically, unfortunately, I don't have any like spreadsheets or anything. I just save the jobs that I'm applying for, and then I can just see that I've applied for them. No real organization to it, though.
This makes sense. So, how comfortable are you with spreadsheets?
Yeah, I'm good with them.
You sure?
Yep, sure. Why not?
Okay. So great. So you're going to start one of those right now. Cool. So here's what we want to put on there. We want to put company, job description, people, LinkedIn, emails, reach out date 1, reach out date 2. I'm just designing it for you, so don't even worry about it. Reach out date 3. I was like, F it, just even quicker just to do it. And then what else do we need for this? I think that's about it. So this one is with Square. The job is, what's it technically called? Account Manager, Canadian Markets. Copy and paste the job description for you right there. So once we're keeping track of all of this, it helps to just keep organized, know where you've reached out to already, and you get it. So we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to do the site search, linkedin.com/in, and we're going to do in title Square and sales manager. Right? Maybe like
I was going to also add like VP of sales, CRO.
Okay. So let's do, ready for this? We're going to get really complex. Vice, around 5 from, we'll do sales. Vice president, team sales, head of international sales. Pfft, there we go. That's, I don't know if they consider Canada international, but seems pretty international to me. Vice, let's see if there's business development. Let's do account management. Let's go minus Madison Square, minus Fair Square, minus Square Deal, minus T Square. Great. Hairstylist at Square. Great. Yeah, that's perfect. Let's see if these lined up, and if not, well, okay, perfect. Head of international sales. Not perfect. Not perfect. So we're just going to search within LinkedIn, which is annoying because I hate them as a company, but we're going to acquiesce for now. Let's do head of sales. Let's do people, current company, Square. There we go. Square. Apply. That's a lot of head of sales.
Yep.
I'm going to go with probably bullshit. Vice president? Everyone runs sales at Square right now. I'm like, oh, cool.
I mean, it gets a little bit confusing too, though, because then you have people that say they're like field managers or they're account managers, or, you know, I've worked in a lot of different organizations where people will say that like they'll treat salespeople as the CEO of their own territory. So people get a little bit funky with their titles.
Yeah, I'm cool with it. Vice, go with chief. Let's go with business development. Just playing around. See what we got. All right, cool. Business development, head of business. Pfft. Name is Baller. Dude must be great. That guy is fantastic. I may be able to help you out on this. Perfect. That should generate at least some type of response. Killing it. All right. Dirty work. Chief operating officer. No, not the right person. Head of biz dev. He's got a baller name. Talent at Square in Missouri. You're a coordinator. Hard pass. Head of executive and leadership recruiting. This is not a leadership role, so let's pass on that for now. You've only been there since January. Yeah, sure. Oh, she used to work at Shopify.
Huh.
That's so cool. Great. And let's just do this. Square company. Yes. Love that. What do we got here? Launched on-demand delivery this week. Hell yeah. So I'm going to take this quote and I'm going to keep track of that. And then the takeaways is that they're getting back into the on-demand delivery space, which is super hot right now, obvi. And what's this one? Is Square the best fintech stock? Please say yes.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that was my exact reaction when I read that same thing.
Wow.
Oh, that's perfect. So we're going to take that quote. Great. That makes it easy. Sorry, I'm literally working through in my head right now how this reach out's going to go, and it's going to be so awesome. This is one about the Juneteenth. Celebrates the end of Southern America as a company holiday. So we will take that article, and I think it's pretty clear where we can go with that. I don't think we have to get like overly creative, if I'm being honest. What's the takeaway? They announced Juneteenth as a company holiday. Great. Okay. So I don't have to delve into that anymore. Okay. So now we start keeping track of people. This is Michael Wilson, head of international sales and email.
What's that tool called again, sorry?
Loxo.co. I'll put it on your sheet so you don't have to worry about it. Hang on.
Perfect.
This is personal. Copy that right in. And what we're going to do is move on right now from this, knowing that we don't have a work email yet. Because if one of these other ones give us the nomenclature for it, we can probably guess what his is.
Mm-hmm.
Their company size is decent, but small enough that we should be able to get away with that. Greatest name ever. His middle name's J. Mine is H. We're like literally brothers. Oh, we got a Gmail. Give me some of that. Again, no work email. Jeez Louise. Okay, I'm going to try one of these other tools. Swordfish. All right, well, at least we got her Gmail. Come on, Carrie. Here we go again. Come on, baby. I feel good about this. I don't feel good about it anymore. Oh, look, another personal email address. Super great for recruiting, which is the purpose of this tool. But okay, so we saved that. Let's get her name down here, and then I'm going to do 2 seconds worth of research. I can show you what I'm doing. So what I'm doing, if you are interested, I don't know if you are, this would also help you with sales to find the nomenclature of people's, what do you call it? Emails. Not to mention, do you sell directly to the tech people?
Typically, yes.
Oh, dude, it's going to change your world right now. You can find just about anybody's emails on GitHub. If you're not familiar with what GitHub is, it's a code repository. Mm-hmm. So basically, it's a place where software engineers leave their code for people, which is pretty cool. So when you go to someone's GitHub profile, which you can look up fairly easily, you're going to open up one of their, these are called repositories. And then you go to commit on the next page. There we go. And then you just open one of them. And ready for this? Go to the URL. This is so weird. .patch, patch. Boop.
Holy.
Okay, so he has a no reply on that. That's fine. That's useless for me. Let's try another one. This guy says, yeah, right. Isn't that crazy? It works every time too, by the way.
Wow.
It's not like a random offshoot. Go to commits.
Only on GitHub?
Only on GitHub, yeah. J Rod Box. I'm looking for his name over here is what I'm looking for. Looks like he just forked this from someone else and didn't actually do anything to it. Way to contribute to society, buddy. There we go. Boom. Updated the change log, which is also not like super contributory, but that's fine. Son of a... Is one of you going to use your Square email, man? Like, it'd be super great. All right. If this doesn't work, we may just reach out with personals, or I may have to take a minute and try and do a little bit more research on this. They're normally not quite this hard. All right. I will get you the nomenclature for that.
Sounds good.
Sorry. That's infuriating to me. That it's not that no one's pulling up any emails at Square. I can't understand what's happening. But what we're going to do is work on your email instead while I have a mini conniption fit about what's happening here in the background. So I'm sure you were thinking about this because I just went over this with Michelle, and I know that it's not the most fun thing to be thinking about on the spot, but why do you want to work at Square?
In general, e-commerce is probably one of those few fields that is actually growing at an accelerated rate during COVID specifically. I think I read somewhere that e-commerce spending went up to It was at originally something like 12% of overall spend, and now it's up to 32%. And with a company like Squarespace having grown their stock prices from
What percent is it now?
300% over 5 years.
No, sorry. You said 12% up to what, 32%?
Oh, 32% of overall consumer spend. And just being the fact that they've increased their market share so much, obviously it means that they're trending in the right direction. It's definitely something that I want to be a part of as well, because I prefer to contribute to high pace and high level growth at any company. And it sounds like, mixed in with my experience and what they're currently doing, it just seems like the perfect fit.
I love that. When you're writing an email, don't ever say perfect fit.
Okay.
It's just so you know, it's a faux pas for recruiters.
Okay.
When we read that, we're like, ugh. No fault of yours. It just like, it makes us go, oh yeah, it's perfect. It's perfect for you. You know that. Oh, thank you. For the love of Pete, the most inexpensive program found it. There's no way that's your email. There it is. Okay, it's first initial, last name. Let's go play that game and see what these folks' names look like. Boom, done, crushed it. I'm done with this. Moving right along here. All right, cool. So these are the reasons that I have so far, and we're going to go, hey, Michael, Mike, Liz, Deb is what she goes by in her email, and Carrie. Sorry for reaching out to all of you on your work and personal emails. I saw the account manager in Toronto role. And
I think it was account manager, Canadian markets.
Yep. Yeah, we don't want it to sound like it's cut and paste. Is
okay.
What I want to avoid. Cool. Yep. And really wanted to get in front of the right person. Wasn't sure who that was. So here we are. You can put that in your own words, obviously, if you want to, or leave it. Don't care.
No, that sounds about right.
Truth be told, I was most interested in working for Shopify in my next role. I read this article that they specifically mentioned Square as one of the top 10 companies listed ahead of Shopify. Say that. And saw in that article that you guys grew 300% in the last 5 years. That's amazing. You must have a stellar sales and account management team. I also read that just this week you were getting back into the on-demand delivery space, which, with everything going on right now, is an amazing place to be. In the article talking about that, Jack Dorsey's quote really stuck with me. These are all things, if you're looking at the spreadsheet, these are literally, I'm just pulling stuff from the squares on the spreadsheet. Stuck with me. I love the idea of finding pain points and helping people get through them as efficiently as possible. It's part of the reason I worked to help train over half of my team at, what was it called, your last company? Smile. At Smile, even though it wasn't technically my job. If all that wasn't enough, I also read that Mr. Dorsey announced that Juneteenth was a company holiday. Besides the fact that it was an incredibly smart and aware decision, it also is in direct alignment with my moral and belief system. Cool. Hopefully that's true. If it's not, if you're a closet racist, I guess that's fine. I just leave it to yourself, right? Don't say that shit out loud. Cool. And now let's go back and look at the job one more time and see kind of where your skills align on a very tactical level. So grow and retain. So how big were your previous clients?
Big.
Multi-million dollar?
Yeah. Procter & Gamble is one of my old clients.
Okay. Yeah, fine. Cross-sell, fine. And you've done both sales and account management?
Yep.
Cool. So we want to talk to that because that's a huge deal in account management. I'm sure you know.
SMB though, right?
What'd you say?
Like SMB, right? Like, would we highlight P&G still?
Yes, we would, just for size of client. Having done both BD and AM, cross-selling and upselling comes naturally in my conversations with clients. Okay, we addressed that already. Address that. You have a degree? Yeah, I thought you did, right? I think I looked up your college, actually. Done Salesforce. Wife knows French. Cool. We're going there. Ready? Looking closely at the job description. To my work history, and here's what I've come up with. P&G was a former client, huge multi-million dollar account. How long did you run with it?
At least 9 months.
Leave that out. It's not long enough. I've done both business development and stop capitalizing everything. Account management. That's so annoying. Selling, upselling comes very naturally to me in conversations with clients. I have experience working on Salesforce. I have a BS, right? BS? BA?
BA.
BA degree. And although I'm not proficient in French, is your wife fluent?
Yes.
My wife is fluent. Credit for immersion?
I like that. That's good.
Thanks, man. I am obviously very interested in Square as an organization and finding and capitalize it here, account management role in Toronto is to, I don't know what, cool. All right. So does that make sense? Does that sound reasonably like you?
Yep. I want to be able to read it over like out loud to myself before
Oh yeah. Hey, good
take
choice. That's a good choice.
that.
Cool. It's a little bit long, so you may, if you can, try and trim it down just a little bit.
Yeah.
But honestly, like, this is a super personal email.
It looks
Makes
awesome.
sense?
Maybe you can make the quote like stand out, like smaller or whatever makes it seem like maybe shorter, but it's awesome. I would totally consider someone if they sent me something like this.
Right? Like, it's super personal. Everything lines
Yeah.
up. This seems
I wouldn't
pretty
not reply.
right. And if they don't, you know what you're doing for your
You
second
don't want
and
to work
third
there
emails.
anyway, man.
Um,
Nah, I wouldn't go in expecting them to reply, right?
with this,
Yeah, no, just in general. Like I wouldn't think like, oh, they're gonna answer. If they don't answer, you go in for the second, you go in for the third, you go in for the fourth, you tell a story. It's not like you're gonna send one message and be done, you know?
oh yeah. I always go in expecting that they're going to respond. I'm like, come on, guys, I'm awesome. But if you don't, I assume it's because you just missed it, not because you obviously don't think I'm amazing. So I'll do you the favor and follow up again. You know,
Love it.
yeah, but I have an ego, so like it's easier for me to do that. Okay. So
Perfect.
this has everything on it. Has the 2 email finding tools that I mentioned. I'll throw on the last one that I think will help. It is Kendo.
If you're cool with it, Mike, and you share it with me, I can also take maybe not every single thing, but I can take some of it and share it with our community too.
Yeah, whatever you want to do, man. I don't care. So this is not my data. This is just stuff I've experienced, right?
Yeah, that's great.
A little bit of background about you, which you already know. Hopefully, your email. This is the New York Times article, because you won't have access to it either. Cool.
Love it.
Yeah,
Very,
no,
very
this
cool.
has been amazing. You know what? Like it's really cool to see that. I think like obviously like the amount of research that you do into it and everything, and like that part makes sense to me. It was just the writing of the cover letter that I didn't think of before. And like, you know, we've tried obviously like working in sales, like you try 5,000 different things when you're sending out cold emails. Sometimes you send out, you know, funny ones. Sometimes you send out kind of like, you know, smart ones, or edgy isn't the right word, but you know what I'm kind of looking for from when you're trying to get responses from people. And obviously I just never thought of applying the exact same kind of methodologies to this. And so, yeah, no, this is fantastic.
So really funny about that. So I do sourcing, right? So like I find the people, I do the outreach, and then I make the intro to recruiters to do the phone calls because I don't like talking to people. And you'd be surprised that companies reach out to me to build sales lists and do outreach also. It's the exact same process.
Yeah.
The exact same. So if you approach this the exact same way as doing sales, but like lower the professionalism, increase the Nolanism, you'll see a ton of success. For everybody watching, because I was doing this on the other screen, this is the actual spreadsheet I made for Nolan, right? So super straightforward. Job, the description, all the people, titles, their LinkedIn's, work, personal, and extra emails. The date Nolan reaches out, he's going to put it in here and then make sure that this date is 2 days after. Here's the 3 news articles. Here's the quotes I pulled. Here's the takeaways. All right.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate this.
You're welcome. I really, really hope that you keep in touch and let me know how this goes, because I really think it's going to be awesome, honestly. This seems like a pretty straightforward one to me. So I'm connecting with you now, and I really hope, as a thank you to me, that you just let me know how it goes.
Yeah, absolutely, I will.
And likewise, if Mike Cohen connects to me, which he should, I will. I'll let him know about you and can make an intro.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate this.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, this is really great. Thanks so much, Mike. This is awesome, man.